Yeah. Yeah, it's got that kind of stick to the lane type of look.
Yeah.
It's impossible to describe, but you know when you see it. Storm's EQUINOX Solid is available now. You've seen Tobias's review already, and while sometimes they can be fairly redundant between Tobias and Zach, Zach has had a different experience with his EQS than most other people and other reviewers, so we do have something still fairly fresh to take a look at here. Dust pattern is Kickel Chromium at Royal Crest Lanes in Lawrence, Kansas. Zach usually mixes up his layouts because, again, he bowls a lot of tournaments. He's a full-time PBA regional bowler, so he's not just drilling stuff for videos and league. So comparison balls later may or may not be drilled similarly, just FYI. Same core as the original EQUINOX. Cores follow lines the vast majority of the time, so if it's an EQUINOX, it'll have the asymmetric Solarian AI core. Strong old school kind of asim numbers, 248 RG, 054 differential, 018 int diff, and 15 pounds. Those are virtual gravity halo kind of numbers for those that go back. This line on the website from the core description fits well. It's designed with 3 distinct cylinders that optimize motion. The largest cylinder lowers the RG for fast revving and a tumbling front lane read. A top cylinder enhances drilling versatility, while the lightweight base increases torque and continuation. It does rev quickly. It is slightly tumbly. Depending on layout, you'll either get into that top cylinder more or less, which affects the post-drilling numbers, and this is a very continuous ball reaction, so it's a solid and accurate description. The new A2S cover comes at 2000 grit on the EQS. The original EQUINOX had A1S. Now A2S is in similar territory, but it is stronger. It does still see the lane very well. That's something that's hard to describe. I've done it in other videos, so we'll move on for now. But basically it means the cover is more consistent, predictable, and less sensitive. It is the fastest absorbing cover in the lineup currently, and even though I talked about that in Tobias's review, in case you didn't see it, I still do want to hit it because people have too many misconceptions there. USBC's limit on oil absorption is 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So when they say a ball can't absorb oil any faster than that. So when they say fast absorbing, people envision a ball just sucking oil off a lane, and that's absolutely not what happens. This ball will still come back out of the return with oil on it. You'll still have to towel or chamois it off before your next shot. So let's use a little logic here. The purpose or idea behind a ball absorbing oil is so that it keeps the cover dry and tacky for each subsequent shot, so shot to shot to shot is strong and consistent. If oil stays on the cover and the ball gets slimy, it's going to be weak and lazy and deflect at the pins. This ball is smooth, though obviously it's quite a bit sharper for Zach than it's been for everyone else, more on that in a minute, but still picks up strong, it moves with authority, and gets into and through the pins strongly and decisively. That's the point of oil absorption, not to saturate a ball and kill it faster so that they can sell you more bowling balls. If you do your maintenance like you have to do on everything else you own in your life, this ball will be fine and it'll keep performing. I haven't heard a thing about the original dying quickly, and I don't think that'll happen here either. This is where it gets interesting, and I think you know where we're going based on the ball reaction Zach's getting. What I said originally is that the laughable part was how overboard they were going, describing the explosive back-end reaction, the sharp angular motion, and uniquely dynamic. This ball is none of that for Tobias or the other dozen reviewers I've seen throw it. Zach, though, actually gets exactly what they describe. His is almost Ion Max strong. He doesn't see enough difference there to do more than split hairs, and it is definitely sharper down lane. However, like I said with Tobias, I still see Alpha Crux. This ball has that same unique weird motion where the change of direction is defined and easy to see, but then it rounds back off and has that archy climbing motion, even though again it is sharper for Zach. I know Alpha Crux gets thrown around a lot. Zach never had one to have that kind of reference, but bowling so many professional events, he naturally saw a lot of them, and he doesn't disagree with me there. He still gets the same experience as Tobias when it comes to the ball seeing the lane, though. It is very consistent and predictable. It still starts doing what it does at the same length down the lane, and while he couldn't get super deep with it either, he also had a mega trough at third arrow where he could just camp out and throw darts indefinitely. I've monologued quite a bit here, but to recap and still hit the review points, he does see the same general shape Tobias did. It is still kind of the tumbly climbing arc. This is just probably the sharpest or fastest EQS I've seen, and most stuff is faster for him anyway, so it was probably to be expected to some degree at least. It is absolutely a fresh, heavy condition ball. He said he'd probably use it after his Ion Max because it prefers staying straighter. So if he's on something long and heavy and still needs the strength as he moves in, but needs more pop, this will pair well with the IMAX. It still doesn't like to get super deep, but it will chase it in quite a bit more than most balls that hook this much. I think it's earlier and smoother still than something like Brunswick's Mesmerize, which can get even deeper on the lane, but I also don't think the Mesmerize is as stable or controllable from straighter, so it's more of a trade-off there than a better or worse situation. I think no matter what kind of bowler you are, rev and speed match bowlers will do the best with this ball. If you throw it hard but don't have a lot of revs, it'll hook but probably be too smooth, and if you throw it slow and have higher revs, it's just going to be too much across the board. But if you're like high speed, high revs, or medium, low, you're going to be in the best shape with this ball. It's still going to be a fresh, heavy, long condition type of ball naturally, but I think it's going to work well for a lot of different games. It's $200 on Bowler's Mart. That's top-of-the-line pricing for a top-of-the-line ball. I don't think it's a deal, of course, but it's competitive in what you would expect a ball like this to cost. I've also talked in the last several videos about the collection from CoolWick benefiting the local rescue that we support and fundraise for, which is Positive Tails KC. We have jerseys and t-shirts and even tank tops with $5 per tank or t-shirt and $15 per jersey going to the rescue, so follow the link in the description to the collection if you're interested. Any support is greatly appreciated. Discount codes will not work on these items, of course, they're for charity, so we wanted to make sure the rescue gets as much as possible, but Rosedoll 10 will still get you 10% off for other things on the website. That code is in the description to copy and paste in the discount code field at checkout. I still have the same opinion on the rating as I did with Tobias. This is pushing A+ kind of ball reaction. It's not a mega versatile ball, but versatility isn't always the big deal it's made out to be, because a lot of the times you get yourself into jack of all trades, master of none, or those catfish kind of situations. I want a ball to ultimately be effective at what it does. Now, if it's effective at several different things, great, and I do think this ball is to a certain extent, but sometimes I want a ball like the Hyperdrive Pearl that's going to fly down and turn sideways, and sometimes I want a ball like this that'll be a stronger benchmark ASIM. Most people won't be able to cover a lot of boards with it, but why would you care if you can camp out at third arrow and never miss the pocket? Now, I said for Tobias that it's a 2-ball because it's not IMAX or Mesmerized territory, but for Zach it is, so it could be a 1-ball for you. Probably will be for lower speed, higher rev bowlers that don't throw strong stuff much. Now, keep in mind that everything tends to hook more and boom more for Zach, but at the same time, what we're seeing here is not like Tobias's Ion Max comparison where it's just video playing tricks on the eyes. What you're seeing here is an accurate representation of how Zach has them. The IMAX is a little earlier and visibly smoother than the EQS, but they're similar strength, similar rolling, similar reacting. The EQS is just definitely sharper and covers boards easier, exactly like Storm said it would. Now, Zach seems to be the only one I've seen or heard having that experience, so take that how you want to take it, but if you have a heavier roll too, you may not typically see what other people do out of equipment either. Once again, the EQUINOX Solid is already available, live commentary and discussion coming up next. Members will get the full version, and as always, if you have any comments or questions, please leave those down below.
This one's supposed to be fairly strong, which I've thrown it a tiny bit and definitely see that pretty close to the Ion Max. Just a little bit more off the spot down lane.
That does get after it.
Yeah. Yep. Still pretty strong though, front to back. Oh, I went back right on that last one. That was not needed. You just go back left and not throw it as far right.
I know this gets thrown around a lot, but I kind of see Alpha Crux in that, because it's got that weird kind of tumble where it's kind of defined, but it's not fast, but it's not necessarily slow or lazy.
Yeah, I could say I never threw an Alpha Crux, so hard for me to tell exactly, but I can kind of see that resemblance just from seeing people throw the Alpha Crux.
Just kind of reminds me, because the Alpha is what Frankie shot 300 with at the U.S. Open or whatever.
Yep.
And so anybody watching this, that's a good reference for just Alpha Crux visuals.
Yep. Oh boy. Didn't throw that one great.
Yeah.
All right, let's throw this one a little better off of that 2.8. There we go.
Yep. It controls the lane really well. It looks like you can just a few different little tricks, and you can go right up the ditch with it, or you can get it back. And
yeah.
We like seeing those, though.
Yep. Getting the 5 out last. Gotta soften up here. Threw that one a little hard. Go a couple more left. There we go.
Yep.
One thing that I think will be good about this ball is it'll chase it left a little more than the Ion Max. It's not going to slow down as fast down lane.
This video was brought to you by Panda Bear Productions. We put the in bowling.